So did you think that fixed mortgage rate equals a fixed mortgage payment? Most buyers are shocked when they find out that their mortgage payment could go up over $600 a month. Now, I'm not a videographer and I'm not really good at this YouTube stuff, but I'm making these videos because I'm passionate about home buyers and I want you to get into a home that you're going to be able to afford for years. So if you're still with me, we are going to break down a mortgage payment. Now, this is a $375,000 purchase price with 3.5% down and a fixed mortgage rate at 5.875 on a 30-year FHA loan. Okay, let's break down your monthly payment. So you've got your principal and interest payment, and this payment is the fixed part of your mortgage. It's fixed for the life of your loan. It's not going to change. Now, what about the other things? You've got your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. And these two things can and probably will change. So then you've got your PMI, and that the good news there is, if anything, it'll go down, but it's not ever going to go up for the life of your loan. Now, when you have a mortgage payment, you have what's called an escrow account. And that escrow account is kind of like a savings or a layaway plan. And what they do is they take the taxes and the insurance, they divide each of those by 12, and every month you are putting in 1/12 of the yearly taxes and 1/12 of the yearly insurance, so that when it comes due, you actually have the money to pay for it. Got to head over to the county website so that we can do some research on this property and see what the taxes look like now and what they might look like later. If you don't know your county website here in Florida, I'll put a cheat sheet in the comments so that you can easily find the link for your county. Okay, we're going to head over to Orange County, Florida property appraiser website, click on property search, and we're going to enter the property address. Okay, now once you do that, you're going to find out lots of good information on this property. And you want to go through that, but for now, we're looking at specifically valorem and the non-ad valorem taxes. Okay, you're going to add those two together. Right now are $1658.17 a year. And look at this savings, over $5,000. That gives us a warning that we need to seriously pay attention because your tax bill is going to change. Keep watching, I'll show you how. So a county goes in, and when you have a sale of a property, the county goes in and reassesses that property. So they're going to change the actual taxable value of the home. See here, the assessed value, it's only $115,453. There's some different numbers in there. Not going to get into how complicated it gets, but you can also see that they're getting homestead exemptions and an additional exemption on this property. So you've got the current taxable value. Next, we have to head over to the county tax estimator. We are going to put in the information to find out what the taxes are going to be and what the assessed value might be once the property changes hands. So you're going to click this button and you're going to say, I want to buy this property. I am purchasing the property for $375,000. I'm going to apply for homestead exemption on the home, and I haven't had a homestead exemption on any other property in Florida. Okay. And then you're going to go down and hit calculate. All right, that's going to give you a range of an estimated total taxes. You can see that the non-ad valorem and the ad valorem are there. And then I always like to click and see the full calculations. Okay, so what we want to look at is the market value. Now that's $337,500 to $375,000. So that is determined by the county. We don't know yet exactly what it's going to be. You've got your homestead exemptions, and then you've got your estimated taxable value. So this one has a range of $287,500 to $325,000, which puts your tax bill somewhere in the $5,500 range. That's what I'm going to use because I've been doing it a long time and I know that they're not probably going to be at the full value, and I want to just make this easy for you. Now let's talk about what happens in that $5,500 tax bill when you put it into the mortgage payment. So we're going to take $5,500 and divide it by 12. And then we're going to go back to our mortgage payment where we had the $138.18, and we're going to change that to $458.33. And when you do that, your entire mortgage payment now is $2,951.33. And that's a big jump. And this mortgage payment is what you should base your calculations on when you're trying to make a decision about whether you should buy this house. So let's quickly calculate the difference between your estimated future payment of $5,500 and $1,658.17. That leaves you with what's called an escrow shortage, and that is $3841.83. Now, if you stick around, I'm also going to give you a bonus tip so that when you are out there shopping, you don't have to do this on every house. You can just do it once you want to crunch numbers on the one you purchase. I've created a fun spreadsheet. Yeah, spreadsheet's fun. That you can kind of see exactly what we're looking at. So we said that we bought this house, or we're buying this house in March of 2026. So they're going to have your escrow account set up, and they're going to put some money in there right away so that you have a cushion, and your first payment isn't due until May. So you need a couple months reserves in there. So they're starting out with this total. Then every month you are going to put that 138.18 and that 150 into your escrow account for the taxes and insurance. So if you go down the total column, you'll see that by December of 2026, well, let's go by November of 2026, you're going to have $1,796.36 for your taxes, and your insurance is going to be up to $1,500. So they're saving that for you. Now, the tax bill comes out in November. It's due in January, but you get a little break. So everybody usually pays it in November. So your lender's going to pay that in November. Now, in November of 2026, you're getting the benefit of whatever the tax bill is now. So you get to pay that lower tax bill that the seller had. Yay, bonus. Okay. County reassesses that value and everything resets in January 2027. But your bank hasn't gotten notification of the new tax bill because your tax bill was still low, right? So, and this is assuming, you guys, that the tax bill for the seller didn't go up 3% a year. That's a whole other topic. So I'm trying to keep it simple so you can follow it. Okay, we're going to assume that the tax bill's exactly the same. All right, so here we go. And we're going to look at what happens every month in 2027. What you've got going on now is in January, all the way through the end of 2027, you are still putting in that old tax amount, 138.18. Now, look down here in February. We've got 1,800, and that's going to be the insurance that comes out, and then your insurance starts all over again. So they're going to pay your insurance. Now, there's another thing. that might go up too. And we'll talk about that just briefly. But again, I'm trying to keep this simple. So you're going every month: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and you're putting in that 138.18. And then in November of 2027, boom, that new tax bill for your property comes out and it's $5,500. And look over here, you are short $3,841.83. And that is a serious problem. So, what happens when your bank gets that? They're going to pay that for you, but then they're going to what's called an escrow analysis, and they're going to send you a bill or a new payment that includes, they're going to say, we want $3,841.83 to make up that shortage. Now, if you haven't prepared for it, you are like, holy patoli, I don't know what I'm going to do. But if you have good realtors and good lenders that have told you all about this and helped you calculate it, then you are going to say, oh, well, here you go, Mr. Bank. I have this in a savings account right over here. Now, let's look at that. I've calculated this monthly savings column, right? And we have 19 payments that we're going to make before you hit that escrow shortage, right? So we're going to take that escrow shortage of 3841.83 and we're going to divide it by 19. And that's where we come up with the $202.20. And you are going to have a separate savings account, hopefully one that makes a little bit of interest, and you're going to put that money into that separate savings account for 19 months, the whole time you have the loan, so that you have this total 3841.80 when Mr. Lender says, send us the escrow shortage. Whoop, that's a win. So now your payment from the bank, because you've made the escrow shortage, your payment from the bank now goes to that original mortgage payment that I told you that you should plan on if you wanted to purchase this house. Okay, so let's say that you did not save and things came up. I know life happens, but you did not save the money. So now you owe that money. What's the bank going to do? So the lender is going to take that money and divide it over 12 months. And then you are going to add that to the current amount of taxes that you owe every month. And that's going to come out to a whopping $778.48. And that is going to be added to your payment, which now is going to be over $3,000. And you're going to pay it over the next year. Now, the good news is once you've paid it off, then your payment will go back down again. So let's go back to, you've paid that extra $320 every month, and now you're all caught up and your escrow is squared away and you're back to that $2,900 payment. And that's where it's going to be until the new tax bill comes out. Because remember, it can still go up 3% a year, but that is a lot more manageable than what I've just showed you. And if you keep your savings account of that $200, then you'll be prepared for any escrow changes that come along, because everything I have just showed you could happen to your insurance as well. So if your insurance goes up in a year, then you're going to have an insurance shortage as well. So it's just best that you prepare and that you don't buy a house at the absolute top of your budget, so you're not going and getting that second job. That bonus tip I promised you in the beginning. So if you're out and you're shopping and you're trying to figure out what price range you should be in. Let's say like this client I had, they want to be in the price range of 350 to 375. Now we had already done this work, right? So she kind of knows this, so she's able to set that budget. But what you want to do is go and look at a house and then estimate the taxes in that area, and you will be able to estimate what the taxes are going to be no matter which house you buy. Now, this whole video is not meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you. And I'm Diana Boyson, by the way. I don't think I even introduced myself. And I'm a real estate agent and mortgage lender here in Florida. And I love helping people get into homes. I really believe in the value of home ownership. But I also know it's really tough out there and homes are, less and less affordable. So if this helps you, please like and share. And please, if you know someone buying a house, share this with them as well.